Clash of Clans podcast, OG, episode 3.
So Grace.
And welcome back to the Clash of Clans podcast, temporarily or maybe forever, calling it OG. Especially as I work through all the old episodes and trying to figure out how to organize it. There's a lot there, and
Have you found the Dune episode? I'm genuinely curious because I'm going to go back through. I told you I'm a podcast whore, right?
Yeah.
Like I love podcasts, especially Clash podcasts. I've listened to every Clash podcast you can imagine.
I looked at them and they're like, there's, I think, just 100 episodes of Boneyard and I, and maybe a few more than that. And then there are, oh man, nerding outs, L Unfiltered's, the Warlog, special episode. I mean, I think there was like special episode 13, and then I started calling them nerding out. And so I'm trying to recreate, because I'm a couple computers later, trying to figure out the original and then get them up in a safe place with a home, because I think it's, like we've talked about, it's a nerdy journey through the early years of Clash.
Nerdy journey.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at it now, it's really kind of unbelievable. It's a different game. And I was thinking about it this week because we've talked about it, but I think the balance of life, I mean, we survived the toughest years of Clash, I think.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I mean, now I'm having problems with getting rid of my loot.
There are different problems now. Problems.
Yeah.
Which is the genius. Like, that's the genius nature of Supercell. Like, let's just be honest. Like, they're geniuses when it comes to creation and all of that.
To keep it going. Yes. And they did say right away it was going to be a 10-year game. And so, that's what that was the original. And I'm thinking we even talk about in the early episodes, it was something that the owner, I think it was early on, was his goal was to make it a 10-year playable game,
which was unprecedented.
Yeah,
at the time.
Yeah, and now it's doable.
Yeah, well, they just celebrated their 12th Clash anniversary in August. I think it was 12.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the game is still fun. I think there's stuff for everybody. But there was that point, and I heard it, and I think there's a point where probably most people kind of go away for a while and then kind of come back to it.
There's never been anything to replace it.
Where the transition, when I was thinking about it, what's a lot different is that war days now, you are not stuck all day doing war. Like donating troops. I mean, the whole war day is a lot different. Like, I couldn't farm on war days.
Simplified.
It's simplified. The troop training is way down. You can brew armies way, way faster. Mm-hmm. I mean, the spells were like 20 minutes a piece, I think.
Oh, way less than that.
Yeah, now they're way down.
Maybe for a whole spell complement. Oh, yeah. I see your point. Yeah.
And so like it would take 2 hours to brew your war army. And meanwhile, people want golems, which were half an hour to train. Mm-hmm. And all these different troops. And so you couldn't really go farming. And then there were however much DE. So war days, you couldn't farm really. If you were like a top in the clan, because it still took you a long time to brew armies. And so it was just like treading water for a long time.
Didn't Heroes originally have a 48-hour regen time? It took them, once they died, it took them 2 days to come back to life. I think in the very beginning of Clash of Clans, because they wanted you to gem your heroes, essentially. So that's why nobody used them back in the beginning.
Yeah, that's why I didn't upgrade them right away. It was like Yeah, I'm looking at some of the release. Let me see if I can pull them. I don't know if the heroes were. I'm looking at about the time we did the first episode back in 2013, I believe. This could all be wrong. But this is right after Dark Elixir came out.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes you must have just came out.
Yeah, it
Dark
had to
Elixir
have.
storage on Town Hall level 7. Dig deeper. Dark Elixir drills unlocked on Town Hall level 8. Yeah, this was a big update. I think the
Dig
10th of
deeper, darker.
January,
Is that what you said?
2013. Yep.
Dig deeper, darker.
Dig deeper. Dark Elixir drills unlocked. I'm reading
Nice.
this is their hey, here's the new update. Version 3.25, 5th of February 2013. And I think it was around Valentine's Day. Timestamps in clan chat are now broken. Laboratory changes refer to rage spell as haste. So that must have been a haste spell, must have been there for a long time before. Cool new leaderboards. Climb to the top of your clan. See who's on the rise and who's falling. New local leaderboards. Who's the best player in your country?
Interesting.
Clan members who recently joined tagged as new. Supersize my leaderboards. More players now fit on board. Upgrade your laboratory to unlock these mighty level 6 units. Barbarians, archers, giants, balloons. New air bomb, seeking mine.
The black air mine, they're black.
Air bomb and
Black
seeking air mine.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Archer tower level 11. Heroes recover health faster thanks to the alchemist's new sleep potion. Now patrol a large area and show guard radius when tapped. Because in those earlier days, you used to lure the hero.
Yes, I totally remember that. Because when I first started, there were still videos on YouTube out there that taught you how to lure the heroes. They were like the clan castle. You would get their attention.
Yep.
And then
you just drop an archer. Oh, the king sees it. Then you drop a giant or a golem on the other side.
Yep. Then he was released from his altar.
And he'd walk all the way over there. Okay, so in January 10th, 2013, introducing Clash of Clan heroes, the Barbarian King and Archer Queen. So that was right when the podcast started. So it was about 9 months, I think, into Clash. I don't know what the upgrade time is on these.
I'm just curious, the regen time. If I remember right, it was ridiculous because that was their quote unquote way to make money. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not blaming them at all. I mean, their business, they have to make money, but I think that was their initial value proposition for players was, okay, if you want your heroes, these are awesome. In order to use them, you can wait a day or two for them to regen, or you can pay gems.
Okay, so there was this. You can temporarily quadruple the queen's healing rate for 1 hour by spending 5 gems.
Oh, that was probably the hero boost. I bet.
This was the. Oh, okay, I went to the wrong.
So instead
link.
of 24 hours,
it took me to the wrong.
It's now 6 hours.
Oh God, it used to be. Well, at least the upgrades were like 2 weeks. This one is just abbreviated. I'll have to find a different. You can now tap, hold the create spell button to queue spell production. Barracks level 8 upgrade costs reduced by 30%. Yeah, it's kind of. There were some more detailed ones with very specifics on the queen, and I got to go back and figure that all out. But it's a whole quality of life, like the basically 2 trained armies when you come back in.
That's huge.
Yeah, just a ton of stuff, and so it makes it a lot easier to be more casual, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a big quality of life.
So a big quality of life improvement that a lot of people have been asking for a really long time is an update to clan chat features.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how far down that road they're going to go because I mean Clash of Clans isn't Discord, it isn't GroupMe or Line. Yeah. So I don't know how far they want to take that. Also, do they want to be able to communicate between clans? So if we want House of L and House of L Relaxed and House of L Reloaded to all be in this quote unquote alliance and be able to have a joint chat So you don't have to go over to House of L Reloaded to talk to Mailman. You can just, type in the Alliance chat, and anybody who's in House of L, L Reloaded, or L Relax can all read that. That would
What
be
do you
interesting.
think?
I think it would be
I say no.
nice.
I say no.
Why?
Because that just opens up a shitstorm of drama.
Could.
Like if I was Supercell, I'd be like, no fucking way, thank you. Like, get out of here. Because you've seen drama on Discord and the stuff that pops up. And then you've got inter-clan, like I would like the convenience of it. But if it turned into Discord or something, I think I like that it's simple.
That's and a good point.
And if I was Supercell, I just want the headache of all the drama. I mean, all those people like sending more messages. And I mean, I think like the clan invite thing is a really good thing. And maybe like a clan mail between clans, but I wouldn't, or to between people. But even then, like,
so one of the things that they've been wanting to improve for a long time as well is the recruitment tool in game. And there's been a lot of opinions on how it should be done. And because a lot of times in the past, and this is one of the reasons why people are complaining, but a lot of people would use global chat to recruit.
Oh yeah. Is global chat gone?
It's gone. Yes, it is gone.
See, they took out the cesspool. I don't know why you would want to like add one back in. Yeah. I mean, talk about like stranger danger. Like you just go on there, join me. Working at your butt.
The dark elixir.
Yeah, it's like the dark web. It was like global chat, or I forgot all about that. I didn't even check that was.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's still a thing. Well, they should really just put up a podcast, and then maybe you could recruit some people to your clan. I figure that's the easiest way to do it.
Just do it for fun.
Yeah, just put up a podcast. Just let them know that House of L is accepting new members. Casual, fun, war, learning.
Definitely casual.
I do want to do that CWL though.
I had a massive fail the other day. Did you see that massive fail?
I did not.
Oh, it
can't be as bad as mine.
No, it was worse. I'm telling you, it was really worse. Yep. So
I might have.
Oh, now you remember. I see how it is.
Well, it's a car crash.
No. it was bad. So I had my warden, my RC, and my king were all down. All of them were down. And I was like, F it. So all I have is my queen. And I was going to do a blizzard, which we still need to talk about, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I sent my blizzard blimp in. And I think I didn't rewatch it because I was so disgusted with myself. But I think I didn't see a scatter shot. And I put my invis spell down just a quarter of a second too late. And a scatter shot ate all my super wizards. So the town hall was left standing. And I'm like, well, I have no way of getting the town hall down now. So I tried with my Lalo. I think I got like 33%. It's the worst attack I've ever made in my entire life.
I 3-star that one after you.
I think you did, actually. You bastard.
No, it was a good. Yeah, you just have those really good attacks where
I scouted for you. That's what it is. I knew that you were going to 3-star it, and I wanted you to feel good about yourself. So I purposely only got 33%, 0-star, 33%, 0-star.
Well, you practiced that good attack, and that was cool. And I was working on that one too. That 1-star 99%. Go figure.
That always sucks.
Here's my problem. Okay. This whole boosting the heroes shit. I go in there, my adrenaline's pumping. I can't see straight.
Yeah.
And
the thrill of battle.
Bloodlust takes over.
Yes, bloodlust.
And then there I am, a 1-star 99% on time.
Yes.
Again, just like the old days. See, I
And
didn't.
your queen was right there. Your queen had pulled back her bow and was
Yeah,
about to release the arrow because there was a sliver of health in the town hall. And you
yeah,
have one starred this base.
that would have definitely given me that what I needed. But I have been loving the Ocho Quaco
Good.
with 4 quakes and 1 jump spell
Yeah, you have to do what works for you.
because I want to make sure that I can take in the. So I put 2 in my CC for a war attack, 2 in my CC,
Two Yetis.
2
Oh, two
earthquakes,
earthquakes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
and then I need to have my beam my beam spell, my beam me
Oh,
up, Scotty, the tractor beam.
your transportation spell.
I'm telling you, that thing is the best.
So funny. What's hilarious? I
Oh, I
love it
love
because
it.
you are feeling the same emotions about it that all of us felt whenever it first came out.
Oh
We
yeah.
all thought it was the coolest spell in the entire world. And now literally nobody uses it.
Well, I'm telling everybody, this thing
It
gets
is a
me
cool spell.
consistently an extra 18%
Mm-hmm.
on a base. And that's with me dropping it in the wrong spot.
You're grass.
But
You transport the grass from one point on the map to the
yeah.
other.
Well, I'm actually been pretty good, except for sometimes I lose the queen and I have no idea what the hell's going on. And I'm just, panicking, looking all over. But I've been waiting for her. She gets in there, whatever attack I'm doing, eventually the heroes get to the center
Mm-hmm.
and I wait for her to an inferno to get on her. And I know like any second, this is it. There's so many beams going on. I don't know if it's a big beam, a small beam.
You like those big beams though, right? The big ones.
Yeah. Oh, don't scare the hell out of me. I'm like panic. I'm like panic button pushing. Like,
We don't like those little beams.
oh my God. Then I go, get her the fuck out of there as fast as I can. I take 2 healers in.
Mm-hmm.
I beam her out, pop her ability and the puppets, and drop the 2 healers on her on the outside queen walk. And at least, and if I have to drop her back, I can get her back into the center. At least I can heal her up first.
So that actually brings up an interesting point, which I know you want to talk about tonight. Are you using the archer puppet on her? The archer puppet in the invis file?
No, I'm using the healer puppet.
The healer puppet. So I actually have a video that's coming out here very soon. I've had a crazy busy week, so I've had no chance to do any videos this week. But I have a video coming out hopefully tomorrow.
Yes.
That talks
on
about
Clash Tips YouTube
channel. That talks about the value of the different pieces of Archer Queen equipment.
Yeah.
And whether or not it's worth a player using the frozen arrow versus keeping the healer puppet. And if you're using the healer puppet, then that's step one. There are a lot of players that are still using the archer puppet.
Well, you made me think, and I tried something, and I was talking to Maximus, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm not getting enough out of the invisibility. Like if I'm using my beam spell, I'm transporting her the hell out of there.
The beam spell. I love it.
Oh God. I just wish I could take a bunch of them. It's just like, oh, it was a spell I didn't know I needed. It's just I love it.
You're careful, Scotty.
I know. Oh, just watching her pop out of there.
This is an adult podcast, but still,
I'm just like,
there's no rated X version of the podcast.
Well, it's just like just a teleportation. I just love it.
Yes, love it. Love that beaming. Beaming's the best.
But, so if I'm doing that, do I need invisibility? I'm dropping her out, and I know we talked about it, and I know you said the power shot, but I thought I'm panicking at that point, anyways. Maybe I should just focus on the beam spell instead of one other button at that time. And so what I tried doing, and my frozen arrow is pretty low. I put the frozen arrow on it.
Okay.
And the healer puppet.
Okay.
And then I transport her out and pop the healers.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, she's been consistently going with the freeze, although is kind of boring looking. I will tell you that much.
It is, yeah.
Like, does it seem like it's like just slow? Like there's something missing?
So actually, technically, the frozen arrow is faster than any
Really?
of the other pieces of equipment. Yes, because well, now at low levels, you're not going to notice it, but I'm talking about a max frozen arrow. So I can't remember the DPS on it, but a max frozen arrow will raise a queen's DPS the most of any of the pieces of the queen's equipment. The second most that will raise the DPS, the damage that it does to defenses and buildings, is the archer puppet. But the frozen arrow beats the archer puppet. I think it's 166 or 168 DPS that's added to the queen with the frozen arrow, and it's only like 142 or 146 for the archer puppet. So technically, the frozen arrow goes faster than any of the other pieces of queen equipment. Technically,
Maybe there's just no flashing, and like
it's not flashing. You're
disappear.
right.
And but it seemed to work. You're right. It is kind of weird not having that power shot to
Yeah.
to do it. But if you're gonna beam the queen out and then queen walker like the rest of the way, I it's just that my invisibility is so high right now. It's hard to really tell the benefit because
You're
it's like 11 to a 5. So if I'm
you're invis vial, you mean?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's at like a level 11. So when I swap it out, it's really kind of hard to compare which one I'm getting the most benefit out of.
So I'm actually going to be making another video, probably Monday because I'm off on Monday. Yay for me! For President's Day.
Me too.
Yeah, nice. And I'm going to be making a video on which pieces of equipment you should be focusing on, and if we get a new piece of equipment like the frozen arrow, because I'm not going to lie, the frozen arrow is an amazing piece of equipment. Like it's not to be laughed at. And we can go into details on that a little bit. But like my frozen arrow on my main base, Tipdawg20, is a level 4 right now. So should I stop upgrading other pieces of
Yeah,
equipment and
that's good.
focus on the frozen arrow?
That is the question I ask myself every day.
I think I have an answer.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear about it.
Don't get too excited.
You don't want to preface it? We can talk about it next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or whatever. We can talk about it now if you want. But yeah, so the beauty of the frozen arrow is that it helps things go faster. But that also means your queen is more vulnerable to defenses.
Yeah.
So, for example, with the archer puppet, you don't get as much DPS when you're attacking, but also it gives you a 440 at max. It gives you a 440 HP increase. So if you have the invis vial with the archer puppet, when you hit the ability and your queen goes invisible, your queen's health is raised. Just the archer puppet, your health is raised by 440 points, which helps her stay alive longer. And the frozen arrow doesn't have that.
So, I have a teleporter.
Yeah, but if you do that, that may be worth it.
That's why I was starting to think about those abilities the last time we talked a little bit differently and starting to think about it like kind of like spells. How is it going to work with spells? And since I'm new to being back, it's like, okay, this is all new to me.
There's so much. There's so much. Yes.
But I'm so used to just the default of invisibility. I'm like, yeah, there is something better. That's my high school sweetheart. And maybe there's somebody out there, another ability out there that's better for me in my queen.
And ultimately, you have to decide what's best for you. I think the beautiful thing about all the pieces of equipment, as I've said time and time again, is other than the warden, and I'm also going to have to say giant arrow, and I'm also going to have to say earthquake boots, at least for now. Other than the giant arrow and the earthquake boots, you can put any piece of equipment on your heroes, and it's really not going to make that much of a difference on whether or not you can 3-star. So if you have the archer puppet versus the frozen arrow on your queen,
Yeah.
and if you can if you're a good queen charger, it's not going to make that much of a difference. If you're good at queen charging, you're still going to 3-star whether you have the archer puppet or the frozen arrow on her.
I'm an accidental queen charger.
So that's interesting because with the frozen arrow favors players who are more skilled at attacking. And that's something that's important to remember.
So this is like a big moment of, are you hero enough to wield the power of the frozen arrow?
Yes. I mean, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not very good at queen charging, and let's say you queen charge into a portion of the base that a base builder has built, and there are 2 single Inferno towers that are hidden behind a dark elixir storage and a gold storage and a elixir storage. Well, while your queen is hitting those storages, those beams have locked onto her, and you're going to end up just having to go to auto ability or hitting her ability with the invis vial, and then she's going to become visible again, and then the beams are just going to lock on her again, and she still hasn't gotten a chance to hit them with her frozen arrow.
All the time. Happens to me all the time.
Yes. So it favors the frozen arrow. It's an amazing piece of equipment, but it's only amazing if you know how to queen charge, and you have to be able to queen charge well. I wouldn't say well. So I say take that back. You have to know what you're doing. You don't necessarily have to be Klaus or Stars whenever you're queen charging. Those are 2 Clash Worlds.
Well, what is a queen charge? So I mean, I get what I mean, but what's a good one versus a bad one?
Mm-hmm. So I like to use Town Hall 13 as an example. So if I'm doing Town Hall 13, I like to do
very convenient for me.
Queen charge hybrid. It's a semi-complicated attack, but if I'm queen charging, there are 3 targets that you need to get down. Well, really 2, maybe 3, but 2 targets that you really need to get down somehow with your queen charge. And that's either the Eagle or the Town Hall. Like that's a very simple way of looking at it.
I do that.
But if I look at a base, if I'm going in for a queen charge, I'm just going to queen charge the Eagle, or I'm going to queen charge Town Hall. Like simple, one or two. Which one? Which button am I going to press? And so that's how you would have to look at it if you're doing queen charge hybrid. And then once that target is down, then you have to worry about the other one. So if you queen charge the Town Hall, then you have to worry about the Eagle, because those Eagles are going to be raining shots down on your hybrid army. So you have to get down the Eagle as quickly as possible. That way it doesn't kill everything. If you queen charge the Eagle first, then typically you're going after the Town Hall with your army in some way, whether that be a blimp or whether that be your actual hybrid. And you have to really plan around getting the Town Hall, because the beams are super long. And so you're going to have to pre-plan heals. You're going to have to pre-plan freezes. You're going to have to tome and use that Eternal Tome ability on the Warden at exactly the right time. So it's complicated either way you look at it.
You're making me sweat.
You're
really.
That's one reason why I love this game so much, because of the complication. It's beautiful.
And I'm you know what? I'm not doing too bad. I think
you're doing really well. You've had multiple 3-stars.
I survived those early years, and I came out of the early years of war battle hardened, or at least with some skills.
You came out of
I'm a fantastic earthquaker. I can earthquake. Yeah. Blood, sweat, tears. But I'm an earthquake master, I think. I'm just gonna toot my own horn. I close my eyes to earthquake. Let me put it that way.
Really?
No.
I was about to say that's
just sense the force, you know. No, but I think my early years of, I just love that spell too. And you're so right about the benefit of, so I'm quaking in my farming army too. Mm-hmm. But man, taking out all that HP on that Town Hall or the Eagle, wow, does that make a difference in that core?
Yep.
And so if instead of that second jump spell like I was taking, if I take those 4 quakes, I'm going to open it up more. I think people might have stopped planning for earthquakes as I look at some of these bases, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that because it's not an attack. Ocho Cueco, for example, is not an attack that you see used a lot. Like it used to be used all
We're
the
bringing it
freaking
back.
time.
You heard it first. We're
Yeah.
bringing it back.
I mean, it's just like people don't protect their base against an electron anymore because nobody uses electron, the electron blimp, where you double clone the an E-drag in your clone with balloons and take out a huge portion of the base. Nobody does that.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
So people don't protect against it, but people do protect against the Blizzard blimp and the Sarch blimp, which is similar to the
Yeah, what's this
Electron.
Blizzard thing?
So Blizzard is whenever you put 3 or 4 super wizards inside your Blizzard. I'm sorry, inside your blimp. You send the blimp into a certain section of the base. Now you have to protect your blimp either by sending in a pig dog. That's Scotty's word for lava hound.
Lava.
A pig dog. You have to send a
They didn't
pig
get any
dog
prettier.
in ahead somehow of the blimp, or you have to send in loons, or the most complicated version with like a Sarch blimp, which is super archers inside your blimp, is you will actually use the warden and you will tome the blimp into a certain section of the
Ooh.
base. The blimp lands, the super wizards come out, you throw down the invisibility spell, you throw down a rage spell, and then you just keep invising those super wizards, and they just take out a big chunk of the base with their chain lightning. That's a blizzard or a
Ooh,
blizzard blimp. I've done it several times. So if you watch some of my attacks, that's the attack that I like to use. If the base calls for it, it takes out huge chunks of the base, typically takes down the town hall, takes down a couple of inferno towers, and all for the cost. There's a cost to it. Cost benefit analysis is you have to expend your siege machine, your blimp, and then of course you get rid of all your siege machine troops, and then you have to expend a rage and typically 4 invis spells, sometimes 5. I will take 5, and if I don't use them all, then I'll use the 5th on my RC typically coming in and invis her. But that's the Blizzard blimp. It's a little complicated, so it takes some practice, but it's definitely something you can do.
I will be upgrading my air stuff next. I'm getting leveled up there. I got my Yetis maxed out. Man, things go fast too.
Yep.
Wow. Builder potion.
Yep. So I have almost met. I have on my strategic rush town hall 13. I have almost all of my lab is maxed out. Now I have like my barbarians and my archers and my giants, and a few other things that I haven't upgraded. But like I'm running out of things that I want to upgrade in my lab, and I've only been playing that account for 6 months, and almost everything's maxed.
That's crazy.
A lot different than what it used to be. That's
oh
for
my
sure.
God. Well, yeah, like those war days, like trying to get up research stuff, just to play to farm and to progress it became hard to do both for a while, especially if you were like a town hall 10, which was like the top back in the day.
Yeah, very true.
And so what will you do? Will you take the hero ability, the frozen arrow? Are you taking it up?
So my recommendation is if you are, so there seems to be 2 numbers that this is not necessarily there's no piece of equipment, like it doesn't jump at one number, like it's worth, and I'm just doing it's the queen has 150 hit points at level 7, and level 8 it jumps up to 250 hit points. It doesn't do anything like that. But the 2 numbers that I see that most people are striving to hit are a level 8 piece of equipment and a level 15 piece of equipment. Some of that has to do with upgrading, because you start having to include different kinds of ore with the upgrading. So I would say if any piece that you have under level 8, you're free to choose whatever piece you want to focus on next.
Okay.
If you have a piece that's between 8 and 15, and you have your frozen arrow that's at level 1, I would say do not bother upgrading the frozen arrow until you can get your favorite pieces, whatever that's going to be. Let's say that's a healer puppet and the invis vial and the queen. Get them to level 15 first, and then go back and focus on the frozen arrow. And you might even want to max those out first at level 18 before you even worry about the frozen arrow. Also, knowing that the frozen arrow requires an extra level of skill to use, then I would
put that down, Scotty. Just put that down.
You're gonna hurt yourself. So I'm not an amazing queen charger, even at Town Hall 16. Like, I'm a decent queen charger, but that's the difference between the frozen arrow and the healer puppet. Is the healer puppet is much more forgiving than the frozen arrow, because the queen will last longer. She has more health. Whenever you press her ability, she gains like 800 and something in health points. Like, she increases by 800 something, so she lasts a lot longer, and it's much more forgiving for newer queen charges. So that's typically what I recommend. And until and that's what I'm going to do. So I have my healer puppet at 15. I have my invis vial, I think, at 15. And I'm just going to max those out first, and then I'm going to go back and do my frozen arrow next.
Every time I talk to you, I commit to doing that. Like, in my head, I'm going, okay, yep, I'm doing that. That makes complete sense. And then it says that little arrow starts bouncing green.
Yep.
Or like it says, hey, upgrade. And I think,
come in here,
but
big
what
boy.
if? What am I missing? What am I missing?
Here, big guy.
Yeah.
See what you're missing by pressing this button.
I mean, what if this is the shit? What if this is the ability? Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think about a level 8. You said last time level 10. I think a level 8 I feel comfortable with, because that was like what Supercell gave me when I switched over, or when I came back on. That's the ability I had. And then focus on making one ability of each of the heroes like up to 15. And then going on from there. Because what if, I could work on that healer puppet, get that thing all the way up there, and then they come out with something really freaking cool. And I go, yeah, but with the invisibility, and then I'm stuck.
Aren't they great with business?
Yeah.
Though? Isn't Supercell awesome? Like, seriously, they're bringing these really cool items, and your first response is, damn, like, I just want to buy it all. I want to buy all the toys. I want to pay for all this ore right now so that I can have all the max equipment right now. I have to have it. I'm on the floor kicking and screaming in Toys R Us.
Oh, it's just like, yeah, it's just right at the tip of your fingertips. But you got to remember, back in the day, every time I was I just upgraded, or I'd get screwed. Like, every time or something new would come out, or like it would be it'd get nerfed a bunch. It just was unusable. And so I always got a plan for like the worst case scenario. And that brings me to your interview on your Clash Tips podcast with BD Legend, right?
Right.
We talked about this last week, about your interview too, and I listened to it. I think about so in regards to, should you upgrade your heroes? I just want to weigh in.
Yeah. I'm interested.
I like the whole argument about hero potions, and I see the validity, and it makes me think there's not much of a rush. However, that always assumes that the game stays relatively the same.
True. Yeah. So,
because why I thought of that was, I thought, well, maybe I'll do that, and I'll just do one here. I'm trying to think about how my upgrades are going to go. But I thought, well, then you got to remember, it's me, Scotty827, and Supercell, and I'm probably going to get slammed again if I do it that way.
Could be.
So I think I really like that you can boost your heroes to the top. My personal stance is, I don't want to rely on anything external for my attacks. because Supercell might take it away from me.
So yes, I agree. So I don't think that they're taking away the hero potion away because I think players like it too much. But
Yeah, it's
that
probably a moneymaker.
so I have been formulating my opinion on this, and so
Ooh,
funny. I'm gonna be making a video on
yeah.
this exact thing because it sucks. So I have a third episode with BD Legend that has not come out yet that talks about this specific thing, very specific, because efficiency wise,
Ooh,
it actually makes more sense to only upgrade your heroes when you're going to waste Dark Elixir, but to not focus on them at all. Strategic rush all the way up to Town Hall 16 so that you can gain more ore to actually make your hero stronger. Use hero potions the whole way. And then once you get to Town Hall 16, then focus on upgrading your heroes. That's going to be the most efficient way. Now, we're not talking about experience, fun, any of that, because let's be honest, you're going to have low heroes for farming. You're going to have low heroes for friendly challenges. It's
and
going
they're
to
done that. It's not
suck.
pleasurable.
It's going to suck balls. Like it's going to be awful. But
Choking balls.
if you're looking for, if
I'm a rusher.
but if you're looking for the most efficient method, it 100% makes sense. But it sucks. So I think, and I'm still formulating my opinion on this.
But do you win?
I think I'm going to recommend that you upgrade your heroes to Town Hall 14 levels. So that's 75, 75, 50, and 25. 75 for each of your king and queen, 50 for the warden, and 25. That's still a lot. That's still focusing on your heroes a lot. I mean, on my strategic rush base, I've been doing that for 6 months now, and my heroes are 52, 51, 43, and 22. So I'm getting close to that number. But then once you get them to 75, 75, 50, and 25, take off the gas, focus on some other stuff. They're high enough to where you can still enjoy them, and then throw your extra Dark Elixir into pets, and then only upgrade your heroes when you have a hero book. I think that's going to be my recommendation for just overall experience, but also being efficient. And whenever you have a big war, you can pop a hero potion and they'll go up 10 levels at 14, an extra 5 at 15, an extra 5 at 16.
But if you're free to play, right, and you can mostly get these things from challenges. I mean, there's a lot of resources.
Right.
The heroes being down during war can be a real problem.
It's a pain. It is a pain in the butt, man. I hate it.
And I can't realistically sit and I think about all my hero levels and them being down for how many days, and it kind of seems like it doesn't really matter what the end time kind of is still there, but of the max level. But, and so for me, I was going to keep the Royal Champion down. I didn't because some just Dark Elixir stuff. But I want a
Dark
war.
Elixir hole.
Yeah. And I want a war. And my queen or my king's only at a 52. And that's been the problem the entire time. Why he's not maxed out. And because I want a war. And so I resigned to the fact that I'm going to war without at least one of my heroes. I'm going to, work on attacks. Oh, it's just, I have to have one down to make progress.
Right.
My queen, which is the highest, she's at 67. I'm just going to upgrade her when I have the spell books because she's the highest.
Right.
And then I'm going to keep going on my RC, but as long as I can have the king or the warden as long as I have one of those two and the queen, I should be all right.
I think so.
Or maybe it's like, yeah, I know some people really want a war, but they only war with their heroes. And I thought maybe one day there would be a way around it, but so far nothing. And I think Supercell could rectify that by just saying you can war with your heroes down.
Yeah, that's been addressed. Darian, who's community manager, has talked about that, and he has said in the past that will not happen. But they also said other things will not happen, and they did. So,
Oh, they just have gem loss probably from people gemming it.
but I think that's also the reason why they started this hero equipment stuff, because they realized, I mean, they got to make money, right? And one of their
Yeah.
main money sources was people gemming their heroes, because there's lots of people that don't like that pain of not having
Oh,
their heroes for war. So they gem their heroes. That's a money making machine for them. Well, I think now that they have ore and people are spending money on ore, maybe from a financial standpoint, they can afford to allow players to start warring even though their heroes are down, to still have their heroes available for war. It's a possibility.
but you'd still make money on a hero boost until they got up there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you weren't having to do that, people just might be more engaged in war. I think. Like I would be that's always been the barrier, has been, yeah, I want it. But if you get into these close wars, it's like shit. You know, I don't want to have to drop gems every time.
Yeah, well, that's
And
what Supercell wants you to do.
I know, but it's not happening. It is not happening. And it is not
Oh,
happening because it changes. And as soon as I do it, they'll change it.
yeah. So I have not had a hero down on my main in months.
Really?
Now, granted, I have 3 max heroes. Right, I just maxed out my RC today, and my
Oh,
king still has.
congratulations.
But yeah, thank you, thank you. My
She's
queen's already
25.
maxed. She's crap 50 at Town Hall 16.
Oh,
50. I should know that number, but for some
that's
reason,
just mine's 11.
it'll take time. It'll take time. You'll get it there. But I have not had my heroes down because I had them max at Town Hall 15. So they were what, 90, 90. I can't believe I don't know my numbers. 90, 90, 70, 45, 50, whatever the numbers are. They're all max. And I said, I'm not going to war with them down, but I'm also going to war. And so I've only been upgrading them as I've gotten hero books. Now, granted, I do spend money on Tipdawg20, not much. So anytime I find a book of heroes, that's $2 or $3. So right now in the shop, they have a book of heroes and a book of fighting for $3.99.
Ooh.
That's a crazy deal. That's a really good deal. So, I grab that. So that's $2 essentially for each book. So anytime they have a deal like that in a cash shop, I grab it and then I upgrade my hero. Anytime I get a book of heroes in the gold pass, which we get 2 this month, I upgrade my heroes. Anytime we get a book of heroes from a special event or clan games, I upgrade my heroes. And I just use a hero potion for everything else. And I don't use a hero potion for regular wars, but I do for CWL.
Okay.
And that also makes my pets max, which is nice.
Well,
And
if you want to war and you want have a hero down, you are welcome to do that in House of L.
mm-hmm. Which is nice. That's important.
That is
we
for
don't care
the listeners out there.
Yeah,
you can request to join. Yeah, we're having fun and trying, put stars on the map and do some stuff, but more casual.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're looking more community and having some fun. So it's because it's going to be forever.
I'm going up to Town Hall 14 soon on 2 of
Are
my
you
accounts.
really?
2 of my accounts. So Boimler, which is the account that's in House of L, will be going up to Town Hall 14. Both of them will be going up to Town Hall 14 on Wednesday of next week.
Ooh, big days.
Yeah. So the reason for that is because it takes 10 days, I think 10 days and 12 hours or 11 days and 12 hours for them to upgrade. And after you upgrade to the next town hall, you get 5 days of automatic boosts. So your heroes are maxed for those 5 days. All your troops are maxed for those 5 days. And if we're going to do CWL at all, then I want to time that so that my town hall finishes right when CWL is starting. So that way I don't have to use a hero potion for at least 5 days. And I'll have max heroes for 5 days of CWL.
So remind me about the CWL, because I left the game. I think CWL kind of started as an outside thing, didn't it?
So there's two CWLs. And so funny because players used to signify the difference by saying CWL and SCCWL. So Champions War League was the original OG tournament, like clan versus clan tournament, and that's Champions War League. And then in 2017, Supercell came out with Clan War Leagues,
Yeah.
CWL. And so that's where the confusion is. But so CWL, SCCWL is Supercell CWL or Clan War Leagues. And then the OG CWL is Champions War League, but two totally different products.
And
CWL is put on by Supercell, and one's put on by just a private group of Clash players.
and so you join a clan for a event, or how does that work?
So it's just like you spin regular war. So you
Yep.
go to the war tab, and then on the first and second day of the month, so on the first and second day of March, CWL clan signups are active. You push the button, you have to have at least 15 players, 15 accounts,
Oh.
and then you spin and you get matched against 7 other clans. And then it's just a round robin for 7 days.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did some of those. And then are you talking about the other one?
No, I'm not talking about Champions War League.
Okay. So you want to do it for the
And the
Supercell one.
Yeah, the Supercell one. And the beauty of it is at the end of it, you get Clan War League medals.
Yeah, I stumbled into those.
Which you can use to buy hammers to upgrade stuff on your base.
I did some builder jars.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, that's like 50 hours for me with builder. And that's hero time too.
Builder potions?
Yeah. Because you're upgrading the heroes.
You can buy builder potions, but builder potions. So if you're the building you're trying to upgrade, or if you have buildings that are more than 7.3 days long, then it's more efficient to go with a hammer of building or a hammer of fighting or whatever you're going to use to upgrade a troop or whatever that might be. And that's just that's numbers just based upon how quickly you get 9 hours of builder potion time, 10, but technically it takes an hour. Sense. So so I just say if you have a building or a troop that's shorter than 7.3 days, then go ahead and use a builder potion or a research potion. If it's longer than 7.3 days, then look at trying to use a book of building or a hammer of building.
Yeah. And like you guys were talking about efficiency on your podcast too. And I had thought a lot about that the last couple of weeks and have made some changes. And I think that's a really good way to think about things with the time factor. And I like the builder things because I think I got one for free or something. And I had done them before, but I hadn't really like looked into, everything that was going on. But I was like, that 10 hours on all the different pieces was really nice instead of just one.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I've been getting too much loot and I have to like kick it down. But yeah, I'd be down for that CWL because I just found my medals from when I was playing before, and I got a couple of those jars from there.
Yeah. So when you go into Town Hall 14, that's the question.
Well, I don't know. I was listening to the podcast today, and I go back and forth about wanting to jump up because I'm at Town Hall 13. And so I think I just have to decide my timeline.
So something to think about is Ocho Cueco doesn't work nearly as well at Town Hall 14 as it does at Town Hall 13. But
well, I might as well just quit now.
No. But air strategies. So there's an attack called Hydra, hybrid dragons. So dragons and dragon riders does work really well at Town Hall 14, and it's an attack that is perfect for you, and you would love it. So something
I might become a skilled precision attacker with these new abilities.
With the frozen arrow.
Yeah, with the frozen arrow. Something to train, something to work on. And that my transporter. It just I think it gives me a little bit more control. And I got to work on that recall spell yet. I haven't.
Yep.
No, that's a recall spell. The invisibility. It's just so much fun to play with those little things. But I would highly recommend Tipdawg's Clash Tips podcast.
You're so funny.
I really would. It's the episode, and I know you have two parts. One dropped today, you said?
Yep. So there's 3 parts. The original one that you listened to before, one actually just dropped today.
Okay.
And then I have one more
coming out.
Yep, one more that's still in edit. I guess I'm not really editing these episodes, but one more that I'm holding off for a little bit before dropping it.
It was really interesting. And I know you said on there that you're getting into other stuff, but if you're a YouTube content creator or even some of the behind the scenes, especially, I think it was a really, well, for anything you're doing, really. I mean, you guys were talking about some really, really good principles. So if whatever you're doing, if it's other video games or whatnot too, that was super interesting.
Yeah, BD's a genius when it comes to that. It's really smart. I learned a lot. Which is the reason why I do episodes. So I've had a lot of people say, well, why don't you come back, do the podcast? And I've always said no. I enjoy. I don't want to get back into podcasting. But if there are people that I want to talk to, then
so who do you want to talk to?
I have some people that I want to talk to, but we'll see. Of course, I want to talk to you. Of course, that's why I'm here. I enjoy it. But
do you have any guests that you would that are like super dream guests? Like this would never happen, but
no, I don't think so. I have contacts to where I could probably get certain people on, but I mean, it basically is opportunities present itself. If an opportunity presents itself, then I'll ask if they want to be interviewed, and throw up an episode. That's the plan.
But there's no like the creator of Supercell. Would you?
So I have some favorite creators. So I really like Clash with Eric.
Well, I mean, like the owner, or I mean, the guy who invented it.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome to be able to interview the president of Supercell.
Well, guess who we have on the line? No, just kidding.
Or
welcome everybody.
The game lead. Forgot his name. I mean, I would really enjoy talking to him, but I mean, I doubt that will ever happen.
What type of clashers are you most curious about?
So I like clasher. I have a very black and white personality, not black and white personality, very black and white brain. And so I like creators who are very direct about their communication, because I'm very direct about my communication, which gets me in trouble sometimes, but it is what it is. And so that's one of the reasons why I like Clash with Eric, for example, because he's not afraid to be like, wow, that attack sucked. And he just tells it like it is. So I enjoy watching his videos. He's like, don't do this and do that. So that's one reason why I like him so much.
Do.
Yeah. Do all over the base.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say Oprah, but we did one time. I called Crocodile Dundee's office and tried to get him on the podcast, but it didn't happen.
So you're going to laugh at this one, but I actually tried to get a really big name on the podcast once. Did you know that John Cena used to play Clash of Clans? So maybe I actually contacted his publicity office, and they were like, sorry, he's not available. Well, I was like, man, I would love to interview John Cena. That would be
There were a lot of John Cena names back in the day too.
Yes, there were, because he played.
Yeah, we could have been in a clan with him at one point, but we'd have probably had to kick him out because
maybe he's listening right now.
Well, he's welcome in House of L. No special favors. I do enjoy his movies. Speaking of which, I will give a little movie series shout out. Well, I don't know. It's more of a warning. Apple's Invasion.
Interesting.
I want to love it. I wanted to love it. And it was amazing how I sat through 10 hours of the first season. And the recap at the start of season 2 is more exciting and better. It's just so I'm on season 2. What I'm saying is I have hope for the show yet, because it was like they were going to make a movie and then they said, well, we got a movie that's too long. Let's turn it into a series. But there's a lot of times where just nothing really happens. And then things happen. And then it's like you get excited for it. And then it goes back to just not doing anything. And so, really, in all honesty, you won't miss anything by not watching the first season
The start of
if you're
season
going to
two.
try it. Yeah. Because that
So,
recap, I swear to God, that was more exciting. And it wasn't like, oh, yeah, well, that, like, if you watch it and it seems really good, it's the recap. I mean,
yep.
that's the excitement.
So I do not have Apple Plus,
Okay.
but I want
Well,
to get it. So a series that I want to watch that's on Apple Plus is Silo.
I've read the books.
I read all the books, so I
Yeah.
want to watch the TV or series now.
And it always makes me nervous after I read a book to watch a series.
Really?
Yeah, really nervous. Like, Silo's been sitting there for a long time, and I'm like, oh, because then I'm like comparing it to the book, and then is it better or worse? So if it's a series where it's like Game of Thrones,
Right?
okay, you got it. Okay, I can relax. Let me put my feet down. You're staying true to where I'm, to the point where I don't have to be like, oh, that's just wrong. And that
Yeah.
went to, you know,
Yeah. So I started reading, or I've read all of those books, but I started reading Wheel of Time books, and then I went to watch Amazon's version of Wheel of Time, and I wasn't impressed. So I watched the first couple episodes of Wheel of Time, and I just said, "Oh, this is crap," and I stopped watching it.
it's just nothing breaks your heart more than
Yeah.
sci-fi that you want to love so badly, that has
Yep.
all the potential right there. And then it just,
Let you down.
uh,
And there's nothing worse than a
yeah.
letdown.
But I had a coworker who was watching it, and he said the same thing. And I said, you know what? I'll finish it. I'll take it. Because, and then I got to episode 6 and I was like, oh man, this is actually pretty good. And then the girl swam through space,
Hmm.
like underwater. And I thought, oh my God, how can anybody put this on TV? Do they not even watch their own shows? Like, this is a problem with like some of the Sony movies, I think, with the superhero Sony movies. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
how does it get past anybody? I mean, how many people had watched it? So then I was like, fuck it, I'm out. This thing sucks, but I got to just make sure. And so the next day I kept going. Turns out it was a dream. So but it was on the end of an episode. So it left me thinking that she swam through space and that they
Interesting.
violated one of the basic tenets. And I thought, oh God.
I
Then
would
that
fall
was after
for
6 hours of nothing happening. The kids went into the pit off a bus in the second episode. They don't get off of it until episode 6, and nothing fucking happens in the pit.
Well, I'm gonna have to download Apple Plus and watch this just for
No,
you.
don't.
Start at second
This
season
the
though.
recap. Yeah, the second season. I'm on season or on episode 1. I kind of, it seemed like it's going to be good, so I got a little nervous and just had to put it down. Just give it a little hope. Let the hope fester a little bit, and then I'll go back into it. Uh, but it is a show, Invasion, that you can watch while you're clashing if you just don't want anything to pay attention to, and you can wander in and out of rooms and come back to and find that you didn't miss anything at all.
I normally do that with Family Guy.
Oh, Family Guy, in and
Yeah,
out.
in and out, in and out. I'd leave it
Yeah.
playing in the background, get a laugh every now and again.
But Curb is back, which is I'm really happy about. And I will give a big shout out this week to Madonna,
Mm-hmm.
who I went and saw, and it was fucking awesome.
She's an amazing person.
it was like one of those concerts, and I've been to a few concerts, not like a few, like, yeah, I've been to a few concerts, but like I've been to a couple big ones like Garth Brooks and Lady Gaga, and I've been to like Cranberries, you know, a bunch of, but this one, she was like live editing video on stage, like the jumbotrons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the show. And so you see like on TikTok and stuff, people giving her shit. She's a 65-year-old beautiful woman, kicking ass on that stage, by the way, for 2.5 hours.
That's amazing.
And all those shots on TikTok that are make it look shitty. I was sitting, I don't know, like 50 feet from her. I could see her really well. But every time she would, so the TikTok videos are really kind of like out of context because she has to stay within certain places on the stage because there's different cameras on different things that are being put up on different billboards, and they're creating like a live video mix show on top of everything that's going on. And so like you're looking at one dancer and a dancer over here, and Madonna's facing the opposite way, but the video on the thing, she's got it's like framed perfectly with video effects, and she's doing it live, and it was like a 3-dimensional, like it was so cool. So I was really blown away. So big shout out and thank you. She started late, but I didn't give a shit. And it's a fucking Madonna show. So
yeah,
she's going to break some rules.
She's allowed to.
Yeah, she's allowed to. So that was a really inspiring thing, especially as I work on getting all those old episodes up. How about some shout outs from you?
So I've been gone for the past 3 days. I had a big workshop that I had to interpret for that was pretty far away. And so big thanks to my wife and son for putting up with me having to be away from the house.
Did you make them like farm your accounts?
No, but I did. I had to stay in a hotel. So at nights, I mean, the working group of interpreters that was together would go out, eat dinner, whatever. And then I'd get back at like 8:00, and I would put a training boost on, do all my attacks, my legend attacks on my main base, and then crash. I crashed at
nice.
like 9. One night I crashed at 9:20. I was so tired. And then like 9:30 the other night, like it was a lot. I'm dead right now, but I'm happy because I'm talking to a good friend.
Yeah, man, this has been fun. We are recruiting at the House of L. It's kind of like we've been recording these episodes. The plan is to have put these first 3 episodes of this new season of the podcast, and I don't know how I'm titling the old season.
So they should be available. If people are listening to this right now, then obviously they're available.
Yeah, they're obviously, but I forgot what I was going to say. I was just like right in the middle of it.
And you're going to have a ton of the OG episodes up so that we can listen to those. That's going to be months of listening on my part, back to and fro from jobs.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought it would be a simple process. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to getting the community rolling a little bit around House of L and having some fun wars. I've contacted some of the old gang and lining up some things, and Maximus may join us in studio next time.
Nice.
Or the wait is over. And I'm waiting to talk to Dirty Pirate too. I'm going to find him. Get a hold of, you can find the episodes at clashclanspodcast.com or iTunes or the other podcast apps. And clashclanspodcast.com, I'm putting up links to the Clash Tips podcast, but you can also find that. And your YouTube account, Clash Tips. Other
tips? Nope, that's it. Just having fun.
All right.
Enjoying life.
Well, keep it clashy, everybody.
Keep it clashy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.